when the doctor came in to tell us that they were gonna deliver him right there and then, I was scared. I was nervous, mainly scared because I knew that he still wasn't big enough to be delivered yet.
He said, we don't know how Damon's breathing. I asked him, so what do you think it is? How do you think he's breathing? He says, we don't know. He says something else is maybe helping us.
In all honesty, I've taken care of a lot of sick children. That was the sickest child I have ever taken care of. He couldn't even, we had to feed him with a tube because he breathed so fast he couldn't eat and breathe at the same time. That's how sick he was.
I remember thinking the whole way, you know, to praying everything, you know, if I'm gonna lose him, let me see him once.
He ended up being 3 months early. He was 2 pounds, 12 ounces. Through the whole pregnancy, everything was good. And one day, come here, they said it's fine, and then the next day, our whole lives changed.
A week after they delivered him, somehow he caught pneumonia, and that's when things started to get bad.
Soon after he was born, he developed a bacterial pneumonia due to Escherichia E. coli, we call that, that required him to be on the ventilator and actually damaged his lungs quite severely.
It was, I believe, like 9 at night, and I got the call from the nurse and saying, Dad, you need to come up here to Fort Worth. You're something not gonna make it. So I went to go to my parents' house. Told them, and they said they'll drive me up there. I told my parents everything that, you know, if they take him, they're gonna have to take me. So we drove up there, and fate, luck, a blessing, he was still around, and they told me when I got there that Damon's stable now, but he might not make it through the night. The doctors had told us that we might want to sign a DNR. Said that Damon, just in case, they said so Damon doesn't hurt, because they're gonna have to do a lot of things to him. They said that we'd like to start thinking to sign the DNR. When they told us that, I already knew what my decision was.
I was the one questioning it. As a mom, you don't want your kid to sit there and suffer, and it's pretty much what was happening.
I told her, I don't care if Damon has to suffer. And it hurt me saying that, but I remember telling her that we're suffering too, and we'll suffer a lot more if we lose him. So if he's got to suffer, then we'll suffer with him. But I told her I refused to sign that. She disputed a little, and then she finally realized that it was probably the best thing to fight for our son. The doctors gave us some relief when he said that maybe Damon heard us say that, which made him fight more. And then that's when the progress, I think, actually took off. It was a relief thinking, I'm finally gonna get to take my son home. It was a happy moment, I mean a great moment that we finally get to take him home, but it's scary.
Damon had to have a tracheostomy tube placed in his neck and would be breathed on the ventilator through that tube. And when they sent him home, he came home on the ventilator with that tube right there in his neck, and the ventilator would breathe for him, and he remained on that for the first year of life.
It was probably 2 weeks into finally coming home from Cook's Children that we made a visit to Shannon. He got sick again with upper respiratory.
Damon has been a frequent flyer here on pediatrics. He's been on our unit about 11 times.
When he would come in, we would have to start him on IV antibiotics, and he would have to have breathing treatments, and he was usually here with us for several days, had to required oxygen while he was here.
He's had the flu, He's had bronchiolitis, or what we call RSV infection. You name it, he's had it, and he's fought it off, and he's a tough fighter. And so he's doing remarkably well for all those problems.
He's doing really good now, and we're so glad that he is.
Children's Miracle Network helped in several areas. One is with the equipment we used for taking care of his tracheostomy tube when he had it. The equipment to suction it out, those kinds of things were provided by the Children's Miracle Network. Also training for the nurses in caring for respiratory diseases, especially the kind of asthma he has, that was provided for by Children's Miracle Network.
And the Children's Miracle Network really does help. It helps families like mine be able to stay here instead of having to travel out of town.
Children's Miracle Network was very instrumental in our being able to keep Damon at Shannon Hospital when he has gotten sick.
Pretty much he defied all the odds the doctor said.
I believe he's a miracle child because he survived. He's broke the rules. He's mainly just touched lives, I believe.
To take a child look like that at 6 months, came in that sick, and see how well he's doing, there's just no doubt that that is a true miracle.
Please support the Children's Miracle Network.
And help a miracle kid like Damon.